Welcome back, everybody. I wish I could see all your faces. I'm just imagining them. So just start with a big, deep breath. Notice how the chest expands and the shoulders rise. And then also direct the breath downward into the abdomen and allow the abdomen to expand as well. So it'll be like a wave. Your chest will expand first, and then your abdomen. Show you how it looks. So chest expands, abdomen expands, then abdomen deflates, then chest deflates. So it's like a wave of breath. Let's do that together. You can breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth, or in through your nose and out through your nose, whatever feels most relaxing today. If you know about Ujjayi breathing, where you kind of tense the back of your throat to slow down the out breath, you can do that. It's kind of like that Darth Vader breathing where you're kind of constricting or tightening your palate. You can really hear your breath in your ears when you do that. If that's not something you're accustomed to, or just you don't understand what I'm talking about, then instead of doing that, just breathe in normally through the nose and breathe out slowly through the mouth. So we're just breathing deeply in through the chest and belly, and then we're breathing out more slowly. So we're not counting or anything like that. We're just breathing in fully and breathing out as slowly as we can. If you're comfortable, allow the eyes to close. Get comfortable in your posture, whether that be sitting or lying down. If you're going to keep your eyes open, I might suggest that you just allow your gaze to be soft and downward. And we're just trying to support ourselves in going inward. So if you're looking around or if you're looking at me, it's going to pull you outwards. That's what the sense of seeing does. But for some people who have a trauma history or a variety of other reasons, closing your eyes might feel uncomfortable or scary or claustrophobic. And so if that's the case, fully trust that intuition in yourself. You know, really use your own inner voice as the most important teacher rather than what me or any other teacher is telling you. Trust your own intuition about what you're needing today. Continue with that full deep inhale and a slow, complete exhale. Noticing how the body releases and lets go without trying. as we exhale. The whole exhale is a letting go. Now we're going to do a little bit of breath counting. So eyes soft or closed, and we're going to use about a count of 4 for the in-breath. And we're going to breathe in for about a count of 4, and then we're going to breathe out for a count of approximately 4. So you're going to have equivalent in and out breath. And then what we'll do is we'll progressively lengthen the exhale. Lengthening the exhale is very soothing and calming to the nervous system. So if you're feeling anxious or at the beginning of a meditation, when you've come from doing something more active or busy, lengthening the exhale at the beginning of your meditation can be a way to drop in and settle and calm the mind. So I'm going to have you count in your own mind, because for some of you, a count of 4 might not be right. You can do 3 or 5. And you can count 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000. So you're going to breathe in through your nose. And for those of you who can do Ujjayi breathing, breathe out through the nose with that constricted palate. For those of you that are doing an open mouth exhale, just continue to do that. So in for 4 and out for 4. Let's just do that several times. And then on your next exhale, see about increasing the length of the exhale to a count of 5. So inhale for 4, exhale for 5. And while you're doing this, notice if you're holding your jaw tightly or scrunching your face up, or Any unnecessary muscular holding, just see if you can invite the face, especially the face and the neck, to release, relax, soften. Allowing the jaw to drop, noticing if you're holding your mouth tightly and releasing that. We can't command the body to let go, but we can invite it to soften. We can invite it to release a little bit. We can become aware of muscles that are being held that don't need to be held. If it feels comfortable, now increasing your exhale to a count of 6. So in for 4, out for 6. If that doesn't feel comfortable, stay with 4 and 5. You can slow down the exhale through Ujjayi breathing or by pursing the lips and slowing the exhale that way. If it's comfortable, expanding the exhale to a count of 7. Inhale stays at 4. But again, there shouldn't be any straining or struggling. That kind of defeats the purpose. So if it's more comfortable to stay even at 4 and 4, that's totally fine. For those of you that wish to lengthen the exhale to a count of 8, you can do that now. Inhale stays the same at 4, but no pressure. Should be comfortable and full of ease. Now bringing your awareness to your root, so the bottom of your sacrum, end of your spine, your tailbone, and once your awareness is in that area, I want you to imagine that a root or a shoot, green root is growing out of the bottom of your spine and diving deep into the earth. So it moves through whatever you're sitting on, down through the building that you're in. If you're outside, it just goes straight down into the earth, through grass and soil and rock, down through the aquifers. It's this root of green light burrowing deep into the earth, connecting you to the grounding, nurturing, safe presence of Mother Earth that is always holding us. As you breathe out, the root goes deeper and deeper and deeper into the earth. And imagining that, much like the roots of a tree, that one green root expands outwards into the ground, anchoring you, supporting you. And as you breathe in, imagine that you are tapping into the nutrients of the earth, just like a plant or a tree, deriving sustenance, really connecting directly with nature in this way. You might imagine a green, like that color of a very new leaf, bright green color. Might be shimmery. And as you breathe in, you are pulling up from the earth this green, shimmery energy, this sustenance from our wonderful planet. The roots are growing and branching out, imagining that your root is connecting and communicating with all the other plants, the psyllium from the fungi, and the roots from the trees, and the roots from the other plants, communicating, sharing, and being in harmony. And as you breathe in, there's that pulling of energy up into the rest of your physical body. That beautiful green, healing, soothing, full of oxygen. And it's moving throughout your body, much like water will find every little crevice and space. It's moving throughout your body, finding any cells that need repair or healing, finding any emotionally wounded spaces in your body that your body's been holding for you. And the soothing and healing energy from the earth is just moving up through your entire being. Into your legs and torso and arms and head, and especially into your heart. See your heart beating and pumping with this beautiful, alive glow. Recognizing that you are one with this planet, one with the plants and the trees, that you are of the same substance. Deeply connected and rooted. And then if you're outside, feeling the sunlight in your eyes. And if you're not outside, imagining, knowing what it feels like to have that sunshine on the top of your head, in your eyes. Visualizing or imagining the energy center that is just above your head, that eighth chakra, eighth energy center. We're just using our imaginations now. And imagine it as a bright white light just above the top of your physical head. It's part of your energy body, part of what some might refer to as the soul, but there's no requirement for belief here. Just using our imaginations. And imagine now that you can breathe in through the crown of the head. If you have a blowhole like a whale, a way of receiving light energy through the crown. And with every in-breath, imagine that it just pulls that white light energy into the crown of the head, from just above the head. Inviting your own light to fill your physical body. And just like the green earth energy, this white light fills every crevice in your physical and energetic bodies and moves throughout the body. You might see it as a white shimmery light traveling down through the head, finding any areas of tension or any areas of cellular breakdown or wounding that needs healing. Inviting your light body to enter fully into your physical body. Like water, it travels throughout the body. Everywhere. And now imagining as you breathe in that you are both pulling in light energy from above and green earth energy from below. And they're meeting in the heart. There's this alchemy of white and green, beautiful, shimmery light that's meeting in the heart space. You breathe in, both energies are pulled in, meeting at the heart space. And as you breathe out, it's almost like the heart can soften and expand. Breathing in all of the healing earth and light source energy into the body, into the heart, and breathing out, and the heart expands with the out breath. So it's almost like a pulsing sensation that you might feel or see or imagine in the heart space. And noticing if there's thoughts coming through, and remembering that thoughts, phenomena, any objects of phenomena are not a problem. We don't have to clear the mind to be meditating and to benefit. It's a myth, and we can just direct our awareness back to whatever we're focusing on, whether it's a breath or a visualization or a mantra or whatever it is. And so, not getting too worked up or worked up at all, if you can help it, about distraction, whether there's sounds around you or your own mind pulling at you. I find the less that we fight with things and just let them be, just let the thoughts move through, let them be there. No need to fight. Just creates this dynamic of resistance and difficulty. Just if your mind's real busy today, just say, all right, well, today my mind is busy. Oh well. There are those days. It doesn't mean you're doing it right or wrong. It's not good or bad. Getting out and away from that dualistic thinking as we move into this new era where that's really no longer useful. Today just is how it is. We can notice if our mind wants to label good or bad or right or wrong or wants to judge us or others. And, much like the compassion you'd have with a child You just see your mind as kind of a young part of you. It's not the most developed part of you. We each have this witness consciousness or this higher knowing. Everybody calls it by different names: soul, spirit, Atman, emptiness, witness. It's all the same thing. Some might call it God or the divine. And it doesn't matter what we call it. We all have a deep inner knowing. We all have an inner teacher. We all have an old, wise part of us that we are learning more and more to tap into and trust. And the mind is just a very young part of you. The mind or the ego, the part that thinks we're in danger, that feels unsafe. We can just have a lot of compassion for that part of us. It's inside of all of us. Just not in a condescending way, but in a very nurturing, loving way. When fear arises, we can comfort that part of ourselves. We can imagine it as a child. You can picture yourself as a child and pick yourself up and just hold yourself. The higher wisdom in you, the grown up, whatever you want to call it, can just hold this more primitive part of you. So when thoughts arise or your mind is spinning, a lot of times it's that part of you that's scared. It's that part of you that's trying to protect or control, keep you safe. That's okay. So if your mind is busy, it may just be that. And so you don't need to judge it or fight with it. Just have a lot of compassion for it, a lot of gentleness. And then keep connecting to this visualization of that light energy. It can be a portal or access point to the higher self. Now I'm going to teach you a technique for accessing stuck energy in your body. So when something traumatic or difficult happens to us in childhood or adulthood or at any point, the body will often store it somewhere. And sometimes we're aware of this and sometimes we're not. But the body will sometimes wall off these things to protect us until we're ready to move that energy. to access that old wounded part of us. And I was reminded working with a client this morning how powerful it can be to ask oneself, ask your higher self. So I want you to do this now, is sitting in meditation like this. Just pose yourself the question, where do I need healing? Where in the body? Do I need love or nurturing or healing? The question will come to you how you want to phrase it. Doesn't really matter. But you're asking your higher self, you're asking your inner teacher to show you, and it's not going to feel really concrete or logical or heady. You might get a memory, or you might just have a part of your body call out to you with discomfort, or you might just become aware of a part of your body, or there might just be a sense of I don't know, and that's okay too. So in a moment, just ask yourself, where in the body am I holding stuck energy, or where in the body is there a wound that needs attention or healing? It may present as a physical pain. And then instead of trying to think through it like we normally would do, allow the body to show you. Body has direct access to this higher wisdom. The mind, it tells a lot of lies. It gets very confused with old wounds, and it can often point us in the wrong direction, but the body will tell the truth. So after you ask the question in a moment, just sit in meditation and wait. You don't need to search. Just see what pops up into your consciousness or into your body, into your awareness. And just be aware of that space if that comes to you. So if your consciousness directed you to a certain part of your body, what I want you to do now is put one hand on your heart, and if it's possible, with that where your higher knowing pointed you to, if it's possible to put your other hand on that part of your body, do that now. If it's not, then just hold that part of your body in your awareness. And if nothing came to you, or a memory, that pointed you in the right direction hasn't come to you, then just put one or both hands on your heart. Just knowing that the body is holding stuck energy from the past, and that our intention is to allow it to move and release. And remembering now how that green and white light energy was meeting in your heart, and your heart was expanding. And now imagining that directly from your heart to wherever it is in your body, and if there's no specific place, then just imagining it expanding into your entire body. But imagining that alchemical mix of green and white light energy traveling from the heart to the space in your body, And what we're doing is we're just showing you may have a memory attached to it, but it may just be energetic and you may have no idea why you have this discomfort or pain or knowing that there's something stuck here. And just allowing your imagination to see the healing energy flowing to that part of your body. What you're doing is you're loving this part of your body. You're inviting whatever barriers have been holding around it to loosen if they're ready, so that the energy can move. And if at any point this feels scary or unsafe, then just going back to breathing white light energy in through the crown and green in through your root, just like we were doing before. You're just showing your body, I'm listening to you. I'm listening. I'm grateful for what you've been holding for me, protecting me from, and I want you to be able to release it now. So we're not forcing, we're not trying to like shove something out or get rid of an energy. We're just bringing like a loving presence and awareness to this part of your body. And it may move. With the same like nurturing tenderness that you would hold a baby. That's the kind of nurturing awareness we're directing either at a part of the body or the body as an entire unit. And then asking the body if it's ready to release this energy, helping it know that this root that you have going down into the earth, it can pull green light, protective, safe earth energy up through it. But as you breathe out, it can release any stored or stuck energy. And you can visualize this as the green light coming in with the in-breath, and any stuck old energy that's no longer serving you, any stories that are no longer serving you, any old beliefs about yourself. And you may have awareness of what these are, and you may not. It doesn't really matter. It can be all energetic. We can do this completely without any understanding or cognitive mind work. Just imagining that you're breathing in the green energy and breathing out any energy that's no longer serving you, any energy that just being released through your root back into the earth to be recycled, used as fertilizer. It's very much a practice that you can do on your own. It could be very useful when you're having physical pain to put one hand on the heart and the other hand on the physical pain, inviting it to reveal itself, and then just holding it in loving awareness. A lot of times, pain is pointing us to an old emotional wound or psychological wound that we're holding. We think we're needing to protect it. But a lot of times, if we just open to it, the energy of it can start to move and sometimes even release fully. That's the way we could welcome in these parts of ourselves that have been wounded. We can welcome them back in. They're just asking to be loved, asking to be seen. And then taking a moment, maybe with your hands on your heart or anywhere that feels good on your body, and thanking your body, thanking it for everything it does every day for you, and thanking it for holding these energies until you're ready to love them, ready to allow them to move by bringing loving awareness. Just thank your body. And maybe even tell it that you're going to really try to listen, going to listen more to it when it gives you messages. Tremendous wisdom in the body. And then we're coming to the end of our meditation. I've gone a few minutes over. Apologize for that. If you have the time to stay, and I'm going to mute myself so that we can do 3 ohms together. And remember that the point is not how you sound, but to feel the vibration of the sound in the body. So the deeper and the louder you do it, probably the more you'll feel it in your body. So I'm going to mute myself, and what you're going to do is you're going to take a deep breath, and on the out breath, you're going to do a long om, allowing enough breath for the at the end. And do that 3 times, and then we'll come back together. Just going to take a moment to dedicate the energy of our practice. May the fruits and benefits of all of our collective energies and intentions come together and spread outwards and help to end the suffering of all beings, help to end the suffering of our planet, all sentient beings everywhere. about each one of you. Thank you so much for taking the time to be here, to go inward. You're helping to raise your own vibration and therefore the vibration of the whole planet, which we are really needing right now. So thank you. Thanks for coming. And now we'll open it up to questions. If anybody has questions, please feel free to type them in and I will answer them to the best of my ability. While you're thinking, I also wanted to mention that I've talked before about considering doing an outdoor meditation for those of you who want to do a socially distanced outdoor meditation. And I was just looking at the weather. Tomorrow it looks like it's supposed to be partly sunny. I have been going to Yahara Place Park on the east side, which is right on Lake Monona, a lot of the mornings and sitting there. There's a lot of really lovely big trees there. And so I'd like to invite you. And if we end up having more than 25 people, we can just really spread out. I mean, it's such a big park, and I think at 8 in the morning, there will not be a lot of people there. So I'm going to say that at 8 a.m. tomorrow, it's supposed to be like 69 degrees, partly sunny. We can gather there. It'll be mostly silent unless we have a really small group where I can talk loud enough to guide, but we'll meet at Yahara Place Park at 8 a.m. and we'll stay socially distanced so it's safe. Yeah, so I'd love to invite you to join me there. The place where I usually go is towards the west end of Yahara Place Park. So we can gather in a safe way there with at least 6 feet apart, and you can bring a blanket or a chair to sit in. So for anybody who wants to come, 8 a.m. tomorrow at Yahara Place Park. Oh, looks like we have some questions. How does meditation help the depressed brain? That's a great question, man. One that I am not going to presume to be able to answer fully. It's a very complex question, one that there's a lot of research on, and I cannot claim to be up to date on all the research. But one way that it helps the depressed brain is meditation has been shown to enhance what's called neuroplasticity. So we used to think that when you were born, you had a certain number of brain cells, and as you age, they just died. That's been disproven. And a lot of that work has actually been done right here in Madison, which is so cool. Many of you know or have heard of Richie Davidson, and he's done a lot of the work on that, revealing that, in fact, that's not true at all, that we can grow new neurons, we can grow new brain cells. And so meditation actually enhances neuroplasticity. There are other things that enhance neuroplasticity that are being studied right now for depression, including psilocybin and other psychedelic medications, other psychedelic plant medicines. Um, so at some point that will be a tool for depression as well, but meditation does the same thing. So that's, I'll just answer it in that way, Nan, that's one way that meditation can help the depressed brain. I do want to say, though, that I have been through depression myself, and that there have been times during depression where during darker episodes of depression where I felt like depression or that meditation was actually harmful for me, in that I felt like the negative thought patterns that were running through my brain were so powerful that when I would meditate, that's what was happening. It was just kind of this negative, self-judgmental voice that was practicing itself. And so I'd caution you that if you feel like you're in a deep, deep depression, you may want to work with a therapist who knows both about meditation and working with a depressed mind, and trust your inner guidance. So if meditation feels helpful during an episode of depression, then trust that. If it feels like you're more drained and you don't feel good afterwards, and it's consistent, then try something different. Try mindful walking. You know, depression has kind of a stagnant energy to it, and so moving with awareness. So moving outside and feeling your feet on the ground can be a way of meditating, but not getting stuck so much in the cognitive repetitions that a depressed brain can really grab onto, in my experience, at least with myself and clients. Um, you know, I also have mentioned before that I have a private practice and I do work with people. I'm a psychiatrist, but I use medications pretty sparingly and often not at all. So if anybody is looking for a therapist who knows about meditation, I really enjoy working with meditators, actually. I find there's a lot of synergy when I work with people who are interested in meditation. So if you're interested in potentially working with me or finding out more about that, you can email Misty, or when you get the link for the feedback, you can let her know that you want to have contact with me, and she'll forward it to me. Let's see. So hopefully that's helpful, Nan. But there's a lot of research on depression and meditation, and even just Googling depression meditation may come up with some stuff. But like I said, I would really listen to your inner voice about whether meditation feels helpful. One technique that I find that when I've been in depression in the past, that really helps and doesn't seem to activate the repetitious thinking so much, is yoga nidra. And I've mentioned it before. We've done yoga nidra on here. There's recordings of me teaching yoga nidra. But you can find yoga nidra, and it's Nidra. You can find that on YouTube. There's lots of free yoga nidras out there. And yoga nidra is guided relaxation, deep relaxation. And it gets you into this sort of place between waking and sleeping consciousness. And for anxiety too, for anxiety and depression, I think yoga nidra is an amazing technique. So if you feel like you're kind of battling with your own mind, try doing yoga nidra. I just actually had a startling response with yoga nidra with one of my clients. Suggested she was having a lot of anxiety and a lot of depressed affect and thinking, and I had her do yoga nidra every day for 2 weeks, and she was amazed. We didn't change anything else, and she felt so much better. I feel like during COVID too, with everybody's fear response and everybody's anxiety, many people's anxiety being higher, yoga nidra is such a useful practice for these times. So yeah, you can easily find yoga nidra free online. Insight Timer, that app that you can get on your phone or your computer, insight, like I have an insight INSIGHT timer. There's lots of really lovely free guided yoga nidra on there too. So hopefully that answers the question. Sorry for the long-winded answer. Can you, Lisa says, can you elaborate a bit on the idea that our minds thinking so intensely is for self-protective? You know, I can't prove that, Lisa. A lot of the way I teach comes from my own inner experience. And I can only speak to times when I've been struggling with something and I find that my mind goes around and around and around trying to find an answer. But I have found personally that when I release the trying to find an answer and use yoga nidra or meditation to go within and to pay attention to the body, that oftentimes things get revealed. You know, I'll have a memory or I'll notice a pain in my body, and if I can attend to it with kindness, things will shift. A lot of the things that we're healing from, they're not cognitive. Our brains can't comprehend them. The best I can explain it is that it's more of like stuck energy that needs to move. So that was the emphasis I was trying to make, is more so that a lot of times our minds thinking and being really busy, and sometimes it's a distraction, you know. Sometimes it's that we're afraid to go inward because there's old trauma, and so the mind is super busy trying to protect us from that. And so again, I would suggest, if you find that's true, working with a therapist, and it doesn't have to be me, I'm not just self-promoting, but working with anybody who, and a lot of therapists these days know about meditation and know about going inward, you know, but working with a therapist who knows how to get underneath the mind and work with the body. That's, I'm finding, you know, in the last few years as I work with clients more from an energetic body perspective, getting less out of that thinking space of like, let's try to figure this out. People are healing much, much faster in the way that I'm working now with them than the way that I used to kind of, you know, process from the neck up with people. So Lisa, I hope that answers your question. And if it doesn't, then please reach out to Misty and we could, you know, I'd be happy to talk more with you about it. Anna, I find the June 10th Yoga Nidra presentation to be extremely helpful and have returned to it many times. Thank you so much, Anna. I didn't actually know the date or the dates that I've done Yoga Nidra. So that, thank you. That hopefully that's helpful for the participants that are still online. June 10th apparently is a Yoga Nidra that you can use. That is free and available. So just to reiterate, if anybody wants to sit with me at 8 a.m. tomorrow at Yahara Place Park on the West End, I would love to see you. And if nobody shows up, then I will be meditating on my own and sending you all lots of good energy. And Lisa, you're so welcome. You're all very welcome. Truly, I really am honored to sit with all of you. This, I was saying to Heather before we got on, this keeps me honest in my own practice and keeps me in a regular practice. So it's really a blessing to me to be able to sit with all of you. I truly mean that. So thank you.